Hi there, welcome to Cameras and Coffee, where you and me discuss deserving cameras. And today we'll be looking at a detailed specs comparison of the new Fuji X-H2s and one of the already famous Sony A7S III. It's a new channel, so if you find this video helpful, do consider subscribing. It helps me when you do that. Cool, let's begin. So one of the already famous Sony A7S III is almost 2 years older than the new Fuji X-H2s, and there is a significant difference of $1,000 in their price. Now let's start with the most important specs of the cameras so that you can decide which one is right for your needs. The new X-H2s has a 26.1 megapixel APS-C new stacked sensor with better readout speed, and the A7S III on the other hand settles at 12.1 megapixel sensor, but it's a full frame sensor. Moving on, both the cameras have the best processors of their respective companies, but the new X Processor 5 on X-H2s deserves more appreciation as it has introduced AI deep learning to the Fuji X series for the first time. And together, the new sensor and the processor on X-H2s will allow a continuous shooting of 15 fps using mechanical shutter and 40 fps using electronic shutter. However, speaking of ISO, A7S III is a clear winner as it has a wider range. But when it is about shutter speed, Fuji X-H2s has an edge over A7S III. Next up is autofocus, where you won't notice a big difference in their specs. Both the cameras have fast hybrid autofocus system, both have good AF points, and the autofocus in both the cameras have good low light performance. Plus, both the cameras have eye, face and head detection in case of humans, animals as well as birds. Still, comparatively, creators have a lot of hope from the new stacked sensor on X-H2s. Looking at the dimensions of both the cameras, there isn't any big difference in their size and weight. Plus, both the cameras have 3-inch fully articulated screen or flip screen with almost similar display quality. But you would love to hear that X-H2s has a sub-LCD monitor too, that displays shutter speed, aperture, ISO, white balance and a few other infos that will be quite helpful. On the contrary, Sony A7S III has a bigger EVF with 9.43 million dots, which simply means better clarity. And unfortunately, both the cameras don't have an inbuilt flash, which is okay because external flash is always a better option. One really good thing about both the cameras is that they have dual card slots, one of which also supports CF Express cards, delivering faster writing speed and better buffer capabilities. Now let's look at the battery life. And as you can see, X-H2s has almost similar battery life as on A7S III, both in case of photos as well as videos. And both the cameras claim that they are water and dust resistant. And there is X mount on X-H2s and E mount on A7S III. Now before we talk about the video specs, let's have a quick 10-second look at the pause present on both the cameras. And now the video specs. Let's start with the best part. The Fuji X-H2s can record 6.2K videos up to 30p, and it has a way high recording limit of 240 minutes, which can be further increased using Fan 001, which is an extra accessory that you can purchase along with the camera. Talking about 4K, both the cameras offer 4K recording up to 120p, but the Fuji X-H2s also offers DCI 4K, which is a wider version of 4K. And when it is about full HD or slow motion recording, it's the same story on both the sides. But the showstopper on both the cameras is their external recording specs, where Fuji X-H2s can do 12-bit Apple ProRes RAW recording up to 6.2K. The A7S III on the other hand can record 16-bit RAW video. Wow. And yes, both the cameras have the best log profiles. But I must share that in addition to F-Log, X-H2s also supports F-Log 2, which records an expandable dynamic range of 14 plus stops. Great. And yeah, not to forget, both the cameras have 5-axis in-body image stabilization with just 1.5 stops of difference in shake reduction. This is it guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and if the video was helpful, do support me by subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.